Love is in the air today on RNT Fitness Radio, and on this Valentine's Day special, I'm joined by the whole team at RNT. We talk dating, how to stay in shape when dating, and how in Ben's case, things might get a little different once you're married. One thing we've always enjoyed as coaches is training couples and seeing them transform together. The level of accountability and support it creates can be a real game changer, and it's not unusual to see couples achieve incredible transformations when training together. We then talk about our own goals, where we're at with them, while also getting an insight into Indi's journey over the years, battling through a number of different struggles, yet still coming out standing on top. A truly inspiring coach, and I can't wait to share his own candid interview very soon. Hope you enjoy this one. This podcast was inspired through multiple conversations probably between all of us, where someone completely blows their diet and uses the reason for it being they were dating or they're on dates all the time. So we thought, and then we had a Facebook post by one of our clients who asked, what tips do you have for those of us who are single and dating but still need to stay in shape or get into better shape? And you know, they don't want to blow their diet despite going out 2-3 times a week on different dates. So we thought we'd come together and offer our best advice where we can on this subject. So who wants to kick it off? Nathan, take it away.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
We should probably do this in segments, right? So we'll have to go for the single guys first. Let's go with single guys, and then we can't really relate to the single girls, but I guess it's a bit different there because the advice will be different there.
Oh no, I've got the single girls on lock.
So the advice will be different for single girls, right? Because they might not be always in control, or hopefully not.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing that we need to speak about. I think that
depends on the girl and the guy, really.
Yeah.
So what should we start with? Let's start with the single guys.
Just blanket statement of singles to start with, then we would diverge into the specialist topics. So first of all, I think we need to talk about the fact is that whatever you do and wherever you go, you're always in some relative amount of control. And I've had loads of female clients that said, but the guy chooses the place and then the menu comes and then there's nothing on the menu for a veggie or there's nothing on the menu that I can have. He orders a bottle of wine. And then, next minute, I'm 2 bottles of wine deep and a main meal and a dessert. And you say, okay, why did you have the dessert? Why did you have the wine? And most of it is all in the attempt to look favorable or look socially included and not have any type of, like, let's say, friction or resistance in terms of that date in hand. And I think that's where we need to kind of go with first in terms of addressing that issue. Because I think personally, from my side of things, if I was dating and a female was like, well, actually, I need to kind of watch what I'm eating, or I'm not going to have this because of X, Y, and Z, that would actually make me look a lot more favorable on them than the girls that would just go along with making the decisions that you're going to make.
Could you argue that it's because you understand it already, though? Like if they're dating a guy who let's say, like, he's a typical skinny fat dude who's not in shape, he has no idea what this is.
But don't you want a partner that has their own opinion and has their own driven personality?
I completely agree with you, but we're just talking from the perspective. We're just staring at Nathan naked. Speaking of it as you seeing it as favorable, that would depend on the guy, right? But I always think, the girl or the guy should always put it out there that they're doing this thing for themselves and it's what they're trying to achieve. Was that it?
Oh yeah, that was it, mate. That was basically just like, you're always in control, first of all, and telling people why. Like we spoke about that on the last podcast. If you had to tell the reasons why, people are more than likely actually will not question them and actually get in on them and understand. For other people that say that they're not in control of where they eat and they dine, absolutely you're in control of where you're eating and dine. There's never a situation of where someone goes, oh right, I'll pick you. Like nowadays, you don't go, I'll pick you up at 7 and I'm not going to tell you where we go. Like it's going to be a case of if it's a first date, it's a case, okay, when are you free? Okay, I'm free on Friday. Okay, cool. What time do you want to do? Okay, we'll do 7:30. Or where do you want to eat? Or what type of ideas have you got for the date? Is it drinks or is it dinner? And then you can go from there. And if you do have, you do have a goal at mind, then kind of those questions at that point would be the one to answer. Well, like actually, I prefer to do dinner at somewhere like this, or not drinks.
I've approached
Divert it away.
The best way to get around that is not to go to dinner. You say, let's meet at a bar, and you then order a gin and slimline tonic, right? So you're covered, 70 calories. And then that way, you've had your whole day of food. You can go talk to that person, have a drink, all within much more controllable calories. That's the way I'd approach it on a first date. But we're talking about a veteran here, so I'll leave it to you young guys.
And the best part about that is if you have one drink and you don't like him, you can just leave and not pay for dinner.
That's it. That's it.
That's why most people do drinks the first date, because there's less of a risk. You can just get out of jail card.
There you go.
And then for 2.5 hours talking about fucking ex-boyfriends and makeup.
Yeah, I'm waiting for dessert to come.
But yeah, if you are forced into the food situation, there's always going to be somewhere you can go. That's fine. The first date typically is drinks though, and then after that, the second one might be food. If you're the guy, then just decide where you want to go. Like I was telling my cousin the other day. He's training under me at the moment, and he goes, "Oh, I'm just going on dates and I'm blowing it on the weekends with the meals out." I said, "Why is that?" He's like, "Oh, I just go to different places." I'm like, so you're in control of these places and you're still eating shit. How does this make sense? Like, if you're in control of that, you should be in control of what you're eating, which you already are. And you just need to make better choices. Like, you don't need to go for a burger and chips when it's just there's better choices there that can be made. If
the lads, you're not gonna get laid because you had the burgers and the chips over the chicken and the rice. Oh yeah, he was a real catch. He chose the burger. So I got to watch that guy. He chose the potatoes at dinner. Fucking hell.
And the thing is, you wouldn't want to have a burger on the.
Oh, gassy central.
Yeah, it's messy as well, right?
Yeah, the ketchup flying everywhere on the other side of the burger when you go and bite into it as well.
Not a good look.
No.
Yeah, first dates. I think we're all agreed. Just order a clear spirit.
Yeah.
Just go for drinks.
On the topic of alcohol, do you want to discuss like general alcohol guidelines as well? What your recommendations are on a transformation?
Tequila.
First date with no.
Oh my god.
What's that?
That can't be repeated. You're so bad.
Yeah, that's why I never get a second one.
All I was going to say was gin and tequila, or anything that's like basically super, super low in calories that you can mix well with like soda water and lime.
Yeah, if you order a bottle of wine, you're going to drink a bottle of wine.
This is just general tips, general alcohol tips, though, not necessarily for.
Yeah, I mean, you always look at like a 2-for-1 deal on the spirits and diet mixes versus like a beer or a glass of wine. Yeah, like if you want something that'll last the evening, or even if you're on second date, third date, or just on a night out, you've got like say, let's for instance, your night out is a duration of 5 hours. If you can get on 5 to 7 drinks in that period, choosing clear spirits will get you 500 to 700 calories. However, if you choose the exact same for beer, you're getting over 1,400 calories.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, like if you're at a restaurant and you've ordered a beer, as soon as the guy comes around to be like, "Would you like another beer, sir?" You're just gonna nod your head and be like, "Yeah, I know. Yeah, I want another one," and that's it. It's game over. But yeah, clear spirits for the win.
Okay, cool. So we've established the first date rule then. What happens next?
Well, see where the evening takes you. But I think you're talking about the second date.
So that's one of the problems, though, isn't it? Right? No, sorry. Maybe in my humble experience, is that if the first date gets better than it's supposed to get.
Humble experience, please go on.
Yeah, no. That's the commiserations dinner that you go home and have a kebab. I blew that one. Shouldn't have mentioned about my ex-girlfriend. But if it goes well and everyone's going well, that's when the point of when people like start tipping the scales and be like, right, I'm gonna back myself to offer to go for the second drink somewhere else.
Oh, in the same place.
Well, yeah, but
on the same night. Sorry.
Yeah, so like if it's going well, you're like, oh yeah, I'm into this bird. Let's get the second drink in. You're like, okay, how do I keep it here? And the only way you keep it there is either with good chat or alcohol, and I just choose the alcohol.
But let's just be clear. If it's a clear spirit, you've got a chance with pulling. Whereas if it's a beer, you're fucked. Either way.
Indi, what are your thoughts?
Well, on the first date and what to do. I guess in most cases, obviously, when you're looking for that date or person to be with, you're going to find someone with common interests, aren't you? So yeah, I'm not going to, me personally, I wouldn't go and try to meet a girl personally wouldn't go and try to find a girl who doesn't train or doesn't have health as one of our priorities. So I'll meet someone along those lines. So they would obviously have that kind of in place with them and understand the kind of process that you're going through. So I guess I would personally kind of educate, give it a heads up and say that this is what I'm currently doing, and just lay out some options in terms of the food I can have and cannot have. I
will be having cheeseburger. I will not be having a beer.
Indi, did she turn up?
Yeah, oh yeah, she did. She did. Only because she did.
Like a survey monkey out to them.
She'd be like, here's my top 10 priorities. Please align or fuck off.
Well, that's the thing. Like for me, I'm not going to go and date someone who doesn't necessarily train or have that kind of background. So, but yeah, if you're just someone who's after a bit of just looking to meet anyone, get to know people for a bit of fun, fair enough. Then yeah, I mean, you've got to ask yourself what you're doing. And, if you're going to go through this transformation, then what's more important, the journey itself, or going to go and have a little fun and write off one evening?
That's a tough
one. Could be two if you're lucky.
You said that there. What are your other guys' thoughts on that? Do you this is out of interest. Do you did you only go for girls that are into fitness, or did that not even bother you?
No, I like it when they're not.
Yeah, same. I'm with Nathan. I think sometimes it's nice and refreshing not to have to talk about fitness all the time at any given moment.
It's overkill completely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I want to go home and eat Doritos on the sofa and not get a question of, is this going to make me fat?
I agreed. I want to have cheesecake and have no guilt about it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not going to go with someone who's like getting ready for a competition and who's super on it. But yeah, a bit more flexibility, 100%. But they'll just at least have an understanding of your values and what you're looking to do.
Yeah, that's a
different story.
Yeah.
That's what you should be after.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything worse than like a competitive chick. Like one of those.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want that. No, that would do my head in.
Imagine that.
But on the same note, everyone is on their own journey, and you've got to look past the sorry, I know you guys are laughing. I can't even see you. Is that you got to look past like the things like the competition prep and what they're currently doing, and actually take out the core things, and that's what that's why for us guys, we do have a bit of a different priority list than most in terms of the way that we live compared to the general pop. And if our other halves didn't look past the fact that we work 80 hours a week, we spend lots of time in the gym, lots of time having a look over food, we all wouldn't get in a relationship either. So I think there's definitely looking deeper than what they're currently doing, and looking past that is definitely something that should be considered.
Good way to.
Yeah, that was pretty deep.
Always back there.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Yeah.
So what about the second date?
Gotta go for it, haven't you? Go all in.
Go all in.
Go all in.
Get your buffers, fast throughout the day, and then just
Yeah, I was about to say that. Go all in.
Here it is.
go in fast and have fun, because Youre it's about balance, isn't it?
But now we're in the trouble spot. We've been for the gin. The second date, where do you go? This is actually where everyone's issue is, isn't it? Like, where do you take them and how do you stay on track?
So obviously at this point now there's going to be food involved. So it's about thinking ahead, isn't it? So knowing that you're going to go to X restaurant and so forth, and pick a place that you can potentially track your meals if you want to be that focused.
But let's consider a transformation here. We're not talking balance and all that, because that's a different story. And they're not in the lifestyle phase, the transformation phase.
You need to plan it.
And these are clients who are going to check in with you on Wednesday and say to you, I fucked up on Tuesday. This is why. What are you going to tell them to do next time? That's what I want to know.
So
no more dating until the transformation's finished.
That's it. Yeah, Tuesday. All right, look, it's 3 months, no dating. Chill off the tip, and just get your transformation, and the rest is yours afterwards. That's it. Yeah, get your before.
Oh mate, don't start that conversation. How many people, like I've been on a few people, like girls, mates, Tinders. How many guys put their photo shoot pictures on, and actually get no ratings at all because of it? Because it just looks. You're like, yeah, right. I'm gonna put my 6-pack on there. Girls are gonna flock, and you're like, and then they actually just. You only attract the ones that actually like fitness, and then the rest of them are like, you're an idiot for putting that in your Tinder profile.
So, Indi, when you're doing the photo shoot,
yeah,
add that in there, and you got the fitness chicks out for you. Good to go.
You get
the fitness chicks after you.
Set the tone.
One at a time. Good.
Oh no, that's it. Done. So for the second date, a lot of people will choose things quite above or they're not above their means, but definitely choose above and make it quite either a formal thing, posh thing, or choose something that the other person might like, and that will generally either be someone. How many people go to like Nobu and steak restaurants and all these different types of places for dinner, and they're the places that will just eat up your calories in one meal effectively. A steak, veggies and chips or something like that will be well over 1,000 calories.
Basically, you're going to get ready to fast on Sunday after you've been out on that date on Saturday.
Yeah, you just got to plan. I think it's just the bottom line is you just got to plan ahead.
Yeah, ultimately. And pick restaurants that aren't going to, well, basically, like if you're going to go to a steak place and you're going to order a meaty, big ass steak and you're going to get like a half a kilo, it's game over. If you're anywhere in the 60, 70 kilo range as a dude, that's it. That's all your calories for the day. You're having the steak and that's it. And then honestly, I'm not even kidding. It's going to probably have to be a fasting day the following day, because the amount of butter and the amount of calories you're going to get in that one steak is unreal. If you're off season and you're building, it's a great time to eat.
Steak and chips are so calorific, right?
Oh.
So you like, what's it called? Hawksmoor, right?
Yeah, 400 gram ribeye.
Oh my God, well over 1,000 calories.
Yeah, just in the ribeye. That is just in the ribeye as well, right?
Yeah, and you'll have a glass of red with that, right?
Yeah, a glass of red and then chips and then sauce as well.
Maybe
It's 1,700, 1,800 calories.
Easy.
Yeah. And then obviously, if you go to the Hawks, you get the bread with it as well. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, edging on 2,000 now.
Oh yeah,
and if you're on a date, you're going to get dessert.
And you might have got a bottle of wine.
Yeah. So 3,000.
3,000 now.
Yeah, exactly. So you really are. That's what I mean when I say you're going to probably have to fast the next day because you won't have those calories.
Yeah. Just know what's in your food. Just don't ignore the fact that you're going to eat steak and steak's cool and steak's healthy. Healthy doesn't mean shit.
I mean, if you are going to go to a steakhouse, the best thing to do is probably like a 300 gram fillet or you might get 250 rump, but rump is horrible, right? So I'd say a 300 gram fillet with spinach is probably going to be your best option at a steakhouse.
Yeah.
And that's going to be hard.
It's
All that good steak.
It's carbs, yeah. Keeps it going too.
Yeah. She better be the one, man. If you're going to take her for a date.
That's a waste of steak.
Yeah, and you have to split the bill. Don't be buying that stuff if you're a guy. Split the bill. Make it equal.
Yeah, and set the standard from the beginning. Otherwise, that's you paying bills for the rest of your life.
Always go Dutch.
Yeah. Just ask her if she's paying. You're like, oh, you're getting this one.
Are we being serious here?
Yeah, you got to split that.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing about. Ain't nothing.
Ben's being serious here. He seems like the type of guy that will go, at least for the first one.
Who? Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the general, yeah, I would for the first one.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, you guys all say no.
No, I'd always pay the first one, but then make a joke and say, "Oh, next one's on you."
Get that third date reel in there.
You can't use that one now. You can't use that line.
But you set the tone. Otherwise, you're always going to be the muppet that pays all the time.
I don't agree with that. I think if you are the muppet who's always paying all the time, then you probably got the wrong girl. Because then she should be.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's what the dates are there for, isn't it? The gauge of that.
Yeah, the gauge is always when they say, "Oh, let's split it," and you say no. If they don't mention it, then there's a red flag there.
Then there's a red flag there. Yeah. They're like, okay,
they've just paid for their dinner and they're going to see you later. Oh man, I can't believe that happened to me one time. Absolute nightmare.
There we go.
Oh,
go on.
No, do you know what? I got the place wrong completely as well. You know, I looked on Google. Like, yeah, I've got this place. It's near home, so if anything goes right, this is fantastic. And I got there, and it was a Caribbean restaurant, and it had bamboo sticks as like the inside of like the wallpaper. So like it basically went into the tropical jungle as I went downstairs to this bar. I just sat there and was like, no one else is here. I'm the only person in the bar. This is going to be absolutely awful. And I literally started texting and being like, sorry, you got the wrong place. This is going to be horrible. Please don't judge my restaurant choice. And we got down here and then we had food. And then she was like, and then basically I paid. And I was like, oh, mate, I've just been done for a meal. It was an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Yeah, don't pick Caribbean restaurants that look like the forest inside.
Oh dear. Go for sushi on your second date. That's the place to go.
Yeah. The thing about sushi,
it's easy to do. Yeah, get lots of sashimi.
Yeah. Head down to Roka and you're all right, man. That's it.
You probably won't overorder either because they're always quite expensive.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's it.
Yeah. You can't really. It's hard to binge in a sushi restaurant.
Yeah.
Well,
and it just looks wrong as well if you're that guy. Like, oh, I want 14 pieces of sashimi and 15 pieces of sushi. And like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
You got 14 of those little bowls at sushi armor.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look right.
Well, I think we covered that, right? Pretty extensively. Let's switch gears now and let Mullah take the floor.
All right. Well, fire away, sir. What could possibly
married man here? What are for the married people listening here? What are the tips there for getting your spouse involved? And
well, first of all, guys, we all fucked up. Nah, I'm kidding. That's actually hard. Like, all jokes aside, it's actually pretty hard. So earlier we were talking about what do you do when you're not dating somebody who's obsessed with fitness like we are. We're ingrained into like thinking a certain way. We have to eat so many protein meals. We have to be in the gym. And if that's out of whack, then we get a bit weird and everything gets fucked up. But for normal people, quote unquote, it's actually not easy to do. So like Nathan said, putting up with us is hard work. So like my wife, for example, she's not going to look at the amount of protein that is in every single meal. Like, she may or may not hit it. Sometimes she might be well over her protein count. Sometimes it might be well under. But you've just got to kind of manage that and not have the same expectation on your partner that you have on yourself, unless they're going on that journey with you and they're doing their own fat loss, muscle gain, whatever it is. So I think the main thing is having an appreciation and understanding of where they're at, and also kind of the limits that they want to push themselves to, because it may not be like, oh, you know, I want to do a photo shoot. It might just be general health. I want to lose a little bit of body fat. I want to look good for the beach or whatever it is. So the biggest thing is the understanding and the communication. That's what I would say a lot of married couples will find. And then I'm not in that position yet, but I think maybe as a group we can touch on it. People who are married, have kids, and that dynamic as well in terms of what they can do to manage all their goals, so their own individual goals as well as home life. What say you, men?
Yeah, I think you're totally right. I think one point on that before we move on to the couples and the family stuff is that if you listen to this and your couple is going through a transformation or going through a change of any type in their life, let's say they've said to you they want to make a change. We see this all the time. And that the inner circle, as you being part of the inner circle to that person making change, what you say and what you do during that time is going to make the biggest impact to them and whether they succeed at their goals. So if you're listening to this and you're supporting your partner going through this, absolutely fantastic. But also recognize that if you say something negative or something that is not so conducive to why they're doing it, then you will be the main kind of fault for like them feeling negative about their current goals. So always try to have empathy and support the person going through that. I think, you know, we do see that a lot in terms of our clientele, especially mid-30s with kids, females that are going through this, like, you know, realizing that they haven't spent a lot of time on themselves for the last, like, say 5 to 10 years, and that now they've decided to do that. The person that is the least supportive is the husband in some circumstances, because they don't understand why they're doing that. And so if you're the husbands listening to this and stuff like that, be supportive. You'll be the sole contributive reason why they stick to and make change, or you'll be the biggest reason why they create friction.
Yeah, like if husband or wife, if you're the person who's like, you know, one of you's doing the journey and the other one's smashing like whatever tasty food next to them, it's going to be hard to stay on track. Like if you've got chicken, rice and everything all prepared and your partner's got, again, cheesecake in hand right to you, good luck. That is going to be hard work. So even like at home, when we're doing a fat loss phase, we clear out all the kitchens and kind of make it fair for each other. So it's not going to be incredibly hard in terms of what we've spoken about before with decision fatigue. If one of you's sitting there eating shit and the other one's eating clean, you can sustain that for a while. And then once you've lost all willpower, that's you basically royally fucked and eating all the food that you shouldn't be eating anyway. So yeah, definitely that one's huge.
There's only so much willpower you have. You don't exposing yourself to all those choices on a daily basis if it can be helped.
Yeah, and you don't. Go on.
I just want to say, like, obviously from a female's point of view, if you're on this journey and, you know, you're with your partner, the female is going to have a slightly harder challenge in this journey because of obviously the hormonal cycles and so forth. So there's going to be a bit more stress on them. So they need that positive reinforcement from their partner, you know, because they're already going to be, you know, having to have a struggle throughout certain times of the month. And then you add into, put them in a calorie deficit, they're going to be a bit more kind of, you know, on edge. So that's where you need, the partner needs to be giving them that positive reinforcement and reminding them why they're doing what they're doing. I'd say.
You're such a good guy, man. You're such a good guy.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, from a women's point of view, men have got it easy, I reckon, in transformation. You know, and because we're not going to necessarily go through some biological processes, you know, and it's a lot more stressful for women to take on board.
Yeah, on the whole, yeah, but I wouldn't.
On the whole, yeah, but obviously men will struggle as well. They have their own issues.
Yeah, there's other stuff. You're talking like hormonally, yeah, of course there is, but psychologically, for anyone, if it's your first time dieting, you've never done this before, there's a whole bunch of things that are going to happen psychologically and physiologically that you've never experienced and that you'll need a good coach to guide you through.
I've had guys have the same problem as well. Like they've mentioned that my wife's not supportive. I'm doing this all alone. So even guys, like I've seen, they suffer from this as well. So I guess the support and communication is very, very important at this current period.
I think it comes back down to the values, isn't it? And understanding each other's values and why you're doing what you're doing, and giving them that support and knowing that this is just a momentary process. It's not going to be the rest of the lifetime.
Or the
So-
diet.
Or is it? Or is it?
It should be a lifestyle.
Oh, the lifestyle
I
solution. there.
disagree with you. Yeah, I disagree with you.
the additional dieting, yes. I mean, to get down to the to get lean, then obviously we're looking to get a lifestyle change, but then they're not going to be constantly throughout their whole lifetime being in a deficit, counting the calories and so forth, depending on what they're doing. But that initial kind of
The idea is that you're trying to make a positive change in your life, lifestyle that hopefully your spouse does take some of the positive habits on, so they can experience the other benefits as well that go beyond just the physical.
Yeah, that's it.
Just more, it's more than physical.
It is more than physical. I mean, ultimately, as much as you want to make the journey as comfortable as possible, there's going to have to be some compromises, and it's just part of the process.
Which brings me on to the next point. Let's talk about why it's so good when you have a husband and wife or two partners training together at the same time.
I could probably chime in on this one.
Go ahead.
At the moment, we've got. I know they won't mind me mentioning this. So I'm coaching a client called Jay, and his partner Delia has done really well. Who's got hammer in the background? Okay, Dave. Delia's just done a fantastic transformation, and Jay's got his own transformation coming up this weekend. They're both going to look incredible. And I know, having spoken to Jay and kind of the communication we've had on check-ins, that he's taken away so much from the whole process. And together as a couple, they've been there for each other at times where one of them's, thought, oh, maybe I could just squeeze this into my macros. Maybe I can do this. And the other one's kept them on track. And it's testament to their results and what they've done, as how much support they've given each other. So when you guys see the case study for both of those, it's going to be pure fire. And I'm sure if we can get them on the podcast, it'd be great to see their insights on the whole process.
Yeah, I've seen, we've had quite a few couples that have come in and gone through the process. Nathan, I'm just going to mute you. That have gone through the process together and achieved amazing results. And it's not just the support they get, it's the adding an extra layer of accountability to the whole process. So they're not only reporting to their coach, but they're also almost reporting to each other. So they create that, level of peer accountability that they may not have normally.
Yeah, to add to what Ben said about Jayesh and Delia, I mean, they've been traveling as well. They're on like 4 or 5 trips over the course of their transformation as well. So they still got results regardless. And I think it's because of the accountability to each other. They planned and prepared. So even when it comes to dating, planning and preparing is key to your transformation. And again, being accountable to your coaches is key as well.
Yeah, they're essentially kept accountable to each other at times, rather than just that, fleeting accountability that you normally have, where you're only, you're not always accountable to each other. Whereas when you're in a couple and you're living under the same roof, you can't get away from it, especially same journey struggles as you.
And for me, dealing with the Rabu family, a couple of other families as well, it's very important that both have the same level of expectations. I feel like it does sometimes go in the opposite direction, and having conversations as a couple to align your accountability, to align your expectations, to align various different things is going to be a really important factor as a couple to do that before you embark on this journey. Having things, as me and Kunal and Indi were speaking about yesterday, having things like mutual WhatsApp groups that allow you to kind of dissect the training aspect, the nutrition aspect, and separate it from your relationship is a really important factor. I've myself been in relationships where two people, I've been dieting and the girl's been dieting at the same time, and if you don't separate it beccomes all consuming, and therefore your relationship then suffers. So having things like WhatsApp groups with your coach, having separate coaches, or like a separate dialogue with coaches as well, and then coming together to kind of add that final touches rather than potentially solely relying on the other person for that willpower, because it is, at the end of the day, it is still an individual journey. It still is, you and your calories and you and your training. But the icing on the cake is the accountability, the peer accountability, the client accountability, and self accountability. But that's the only icing. The rest of the stuff has to be done by an individual. So I think aligning those expectations at the beginning is a really important factor for you and your partner.
And one thing I've noticed as well from feedback I get, this came in an email recently from one of our clients called Samit, whose wife Mira is training with Kunal, and he said that this whole like transformation period for them has brought them closer at the same time. They've got to know each other on a different level because they're now doing things they weren't doing before. They're doing different sorts of dates, different activities, and it's almost he said in his own words, he said it's taken their relationship to the next level. So that's always another interesting outcome that comes from when two partners come and train together. Indi? You've got a fair share of your company.
Sorry?
Bounded
I thought you'd have been off on that, right?
by all the love.
No, I mean, I've got a fair few couples, and yeah, I mean, the first thing I'll always do is get them in a WhatsApp group together, and it's just basically having that kind of giving them both that positive reinforcement, and they just bounce off each other. And so far, the couples I've been working with have been doing well together, and they're both giving each other that accountability. And I mean, so I'd say for them, it's just it's having that positive reinforcement, and I always add to that is that it does take their relationship to the next level, because you do see a side of your partner that you would never see beforehand. And going through that process, seeing them kind of, I wouldn't say it is slightly, to go for a bit more hardship when you're going for a cut. So to be there and support each other just does strengthen the relationship. So I think it's a pro if you can get a couple together on the transformation and just want each other by itself. But I'd say, I mean, for me in the past, the WhatsApp group works like a charm. And that's about it so far, I guess. So far, I mean, just it's all about setting expectations from day one and then working from there.
Beautiful.
Are you going to come at him with beautiful?
That's equivalent to like, cool story, Indi. Cool story.
I don't want to drop some philosophical bombs there because I don't want to bore you guys, but yeah.
No, not all. We need all the perspective. We're just giving you shit.
One thing I was thinking about, I was looking at Indi when he was doing it. I was looking at his traps at the time. I don't know if you guys were doing the same.
No, I was staring at the sun, mate. Sorry.
Yeah.
Jesus, mate.
Let's finish up on just going through the latest on where everyone's at with their own fitness goals. We did it last time, and I think it was quite interesting for everyone when we discussed it.
Oh yeah, Muller, are you massive yet?
I'm huge. Look, you guys can't see it on video, unfortunately. It would be great if we actually got this on YouTube, because it would make it even more interesting. But my cheeks right now, my face are enormous. Properly thought out. I'm around that 90. I'm hovering over 91 kilo. Once I get to 92, I'm going to have to rein it in, because I'm looking a little bit too soft, and I think even my wife wouldn't be too happy with the condition I'm in. If I was on the dating game, I wouldn't.
You still
allow
got
it
abs, Muller. What are you talking about?
Yeah. It's all smoke.
You're still good to like 95.
Yeah, we're going to go to
Muller quote, I was born with abs.
Exactly. It's true. It's so genetic. Anybody who's got naturally good abs, it will always look lean, even at like silly body fats. But anyway, I digress. The bulk is going very well. At the moment, I'm eating 3,750 calories a day, which sounds like loads of fun until you start doing it, and not doing it through McDonald's and KFC. When you're eating basically the equivalent of about 200 grams of oats a day, probably about the same amount of basmati rice, and then squeezing in like fruit and dried fruit to get in your carbs, it's not fun.
How many poos are you having a day?
On average, it's like between 3 and 5.
I was close. That's a 6.
Yeah, but also my fiber intake, and this is not even with try. I kid you not, it's like 40 grams a day. So I've got to be careful not to take it too high. So yeah, the eating is unreal. It's probably, right now it's 5 meals a day, because otherwise the meals are just too big and I feel like horrendous.
So, how do you stay motivated during a bulk?
Because I want to be the biggest, baddest motherfucker on the planet. I'm only joking. No, it's just I just want to see the progress, and for me, it's got to have an outcome. I don't want to just go to the gym for the sake of going to the gym. So my motivation is obviously A, my logbook, so getting stronger, and then B, what's the one thing I can do that's going to support that? Well, it's going to be nutrition, and then all the other things that will tie into it, like sleep, blah, 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 all the stuff we've always touched on. But that's the one. That's the big one. That's the one thing.
Muller, you got a coach right now?
Yeah, I've got a coach. You want me to go into that?
As in, so what value do you get from, having a coach in a muscle building phase? Especially at how advanced you are, how slow muscle gain is. What kind of value do you see there?
Whether it's somebody who's advanced or somebody who's not advanced, there's always going to be value in having a coach for muscle building, and that's because you're going to have somebody who's completely objective. They've got all the data in front of them. They can see what exactly you've done week on week, and they can tie it all together and actually give you a proper answer on what to do the following week, the next month, how your training progressions are going, how your lifts are going, when to pull back. For example, like now, if I didn't have a coach, I might get wild with it and just keep going up to like 95 kilo and then probably do an aggressive mini cut, get too lean, and the whole of the year may not go as well as it could. Whereas when you've got that second pair of eyes who are like really, really experienced, they'll say, right, let's pull here, let's get you to this kind of composition, let's have a look at your training, how's your recovery, how's your sleep, and tie all those things in together and actually give you a clear path for the year versus just an aggressive 2 or 3 month bulk and then, oh, what happened? I didn't get big enough. Because as we know, it's going to take much more than just 3 months to put on mass, especially if you're intermediate advanced. So that's basically going to be a lot of our clients past their second or third year of training. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on how seriously you take your training. You can get to that intermediate stage pretty quickly if you're nailing everything right from the get-go. But yeah, the value of having a coach, whether it's fat loss or muscle building, is huge.
Akash, didn't you have a good analogy for muscle growth with beards?
Yeah, it's a good time to talk about it. I was telling these guys yesterday, so you probably noticed that I'm looking quite fresh today.
I hadn't noticed.
So I said to them yesterday, I was like, okay, so the beard got a little bit of a trim today, and this time, one, it might not be your level, but it's starting out a bit, Every time I'm doing a little mini cut, it's coming out better each time. So I like.
Do you remember how stressed you were when you had a massive beard? You're like, I think I'm looking too fuller. I don't know what I should do. Do you think I should go for a trim today?
But
you persisted, right?
If you didn't have a coach, you would have shaved it off.
That's it. I was
telling back to square one.
In August, I signed up with 6 months with Kunal. 6 months with Kunal. I renewed for 12 months yesterday.
And he's never looked back.
Yesterday.
But it's literally just like muscle building though, because you start with nothing and you got to keep depositing the pennies, building up that investment package, and then as the nest egg grows more and more, then it's time to cash in, and that's when you get the look that you're after. But then the thing is, it never gets to where you want to unless you put in years of effort. And Kunal was telling me, he first got his beard when he was 16, 17.
12.
Yeah, 12.
I told you yesterday.
And that's
Some people have superior genetics, right?
That's another part of muscle building, right? Muscle building is very genetic, and it's also, it's about years. And Kunal's put in over a decade of training into his beard. Right now, he's got such a good one. I mean, this is without ignoring one right there, who's arguably got the best of them all.
Arguably. Indi would have something to say about that.
I thought it was a good analogy, and I was like, "Oh yeah,
it is. It's completely true."
When your beard looks crap, you're so tempted to go for that mini cut, and that's when we usually tell people you need to embrace the fluff. It's exactly the same thing. I mean, I was looking like I felt like a mess, man. I felt like a mess yesterday.
But let me just say as well, like the value of a coach, whether it's for your beard or for muscle gain, is as well knowing how far to take that fluff. Otherwise, that fluff can leave you looking like a hobo, or worse, it can leave you looking like you're basically over fat. And at that point, there's no way to salvage it apart from some really aggressive methods. So as much as it's good to push the beard and it's good to push the bulk, it's got to be within reason.
Yeah, how fat is too fat?
That's where the second pair of eyes are always handy. That's why Kunal's got you on a retainer.
Oh, brilliant. Kunal, you want to talk about your goals?
Yeah, so
You bitch.
I'm running a half marathon with Akash in April.
I thought you were building.
Mate, I was, right? And then he goes 2 weeks ago, I think, or 3 weeks ago. By the way, we're doing a half marathon. Are you on it? Said this to me in December, actually. And I said, I don't know, man, I don't know. And then with Sham, he was like, yeah, I think we're going to do it. And he was the only one who was going to do it at that point. And I was like, okay, cool. So it's for charity, it's a good cause. Should be pretty cool. So got that. And then back to bulking probably after that. I'm not in a mini cut right now, but I'm just trying to maintain because I don't want to be too fat for the marathon. And then,
But do you want to talk about conflicting goals a little bit there?
Kunal didn't see the bigger picture there, but he's there for...
Fair enough. The good cause is good.
Yeah. You reckon you can still build muscle when you're training for half marathon?
Absolutely, just plowing those calories, son.
Yeah, but exactly that. You've got so much more food to go in, and you've got to manage your recovery a lot better in terms of like sleep, the stress of training. Probably have to reduce your training volume if you're going to be doing a lot of running. So just got to factor all those things in. But yeah, you can. It's just not optimal.
Might actually build your calves. Both of you.
My calves are always sore after running. Indi?
Well, I'm supposed to still be in a cut. And since I've got back, I've actually struggled quite a lot with this journey so far, purely because I had the luxury of just training and eating and sleeping and doing that every day when I was in Sydney. Since I got back here now and just, family temptations, friends and so forth, I've actually been struggling quite a lot with this journey at the moment. So I feel a lot of pressure on myself as well to get leaner and give, the RM2 family a good photo shoot as well. And it's kind of, it's been an up and down journey so far. But I'm on track, the weights, my weight hasn't gone up. I'm still keeping stable, but there are moments when I do kind of give into the journey and I end up going over my calories, but then I'll put strategies in place to make sure I fast the next day or increase my workload. But it has been tough on me to do this journey since I got back. And all jokes aside, I feel like I'm failing myself as a coach and to my clients by not being able to get to my results. But I'm chipping away as best as I can, and I'm on track, then I come off track, then go back on track. So it's just about me finding that balance now again to get there. But so far, so good. I'm on progress, but yeah, there are odd days when I want to give up on this journey, and it's just taking this toll on me purely because I spent pretty much a good 10 months in a very low calorie deficit, and I went to an extreme that I probably wouldn't recommend any of my clients to go through. So now it's just me dealing with that now since I got back to London. But I'm on track. There'll be some abs going, so I've just got to keep going. It's just about me being mindful of now the fact that I've got other stresses in place, like a bit more workload and not necessarily getting sleep in sometimes. So I'm just working on that now, just trying to manage the training. So I've actually dropped my training down to 3 to 4 sessions a week now instead of the 5 or 6 I would do in the past. And I'm focusing a lot more on recovery than actually the output in the gym. So for me, it's probably going to be not as quick as a transformation that I thought, but I'm doing it in a way now where it's kind of giving me that balance in my life and not just being consumed by getting this goal of being lean and getting ready for a photo shoot.
Yeah, man, fair play. I mean, sometimes it's not the time to diet. Sometimes it's not the right time, and you're going through a complete shift in your calendar, a complete shift in your structure. There aren't that many people that can adapt as fast to a new structure. And like even myself, I've struggled with this whole change of structure. I've moved country a few different times and changed jobs and stuff like that. And I wouldn't have imagined dieting during that period of time. Sometimes it's like you just accept that it's not going to happen, or you just say, okay, I'm going to shelf it and maintain. And then for a period of time, you excel on when you've got the structure ready. And that's okay. This is a lifestyle, but this is not, this is not just a 12-week pictures and then you finish. You have that body for the rest of your life, and you have to be kind to it for a while. And then when you're ready to come down the calories, then it's okay. Take your time.
I guess it's like one of the things, obviously, for all the new guys are part of R&T, who realize that this is the lightest I've ever been. I mean, apart from obviously when I was younger, but even when I was a kid, I always sat at 13 to 14 stones. My background wasn't body composition. I was always more into my powerlifting and strength work. So the fact that I got down to 63 kilos last year was like an all-time record for me and a big achievement. So for me personally to maintain that, it's just been a bit more of a challenge now. So I'm back into 71 at the moment. So I put on some considerable amount of weight since I got back to London, purely because I let loose in Christmas and I had fun. And I'm perfectly accountable to that. But it's just me being realistic with my goals and knowing that it's going to be a slightly longer journey. No excuses, but it's just understanding that I've never sat this low in weight, and from going from someone who was pretty much just lost, like a little person in terms of weight from the body, to try to, it's just about finding that balance. And this is one of the things, I guess, which has been my success with the clients I have at R&T is related to them, because I didn't come from a background of being skinny and easily to build muscle. I was the fat kid. And in some ways I still am that fat kid, and I fight this battle with me of like training hard, being good with my nutrition and everything. And then the other day I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And the temptation's there, especially with an Asian culture, you're at home and we have loving families that just want to feed us, and there's all this food there and you got to say no to them. And it's like, then you're kind of, you're almost kind of the guilt trip. Why, how are you going to get bigger or stronger if you don't have a roti or this and that? So it's trying to fight that and then fight the other things outside. So, this is going out to all the guys I'm training on R&T. It's like, just remember it's a process. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon. But just put those systems in place to get results. And, and just remember, no one's judging you and where you are, and don't beat yourself up too much. If you slip, just get back and carry on. The key is it's not giving up if you just make a little slip up one day here and there. The fact if you give up is if you just totally stop the journey. So this is what I was saying to someone recently. He had a bit of a bad patch and went off the wagon with his nutrition and he wanted to just give up on his journey. And I was like, look, it's fine, mate. It happens. Just pick yourself up and carry on. So just know that you'll achieve the goal, but be realistic with your time frame and expectations, and you'll get there. So that's my little bit there.
Yeah, it makes sense. You want to just we're gonna do a proper in-depth interview with your story, but you want to just give the listeners a little bit of background of how heavy you were and where you come from, just so they can understand some of the numbers that you're talking about, and even just some of the situations.
So I've been trained since I can remember, but like I said, my background was always in strength and powerlifting and strongman. So even when I was in high school, I sat around about 92 kilos, and that was mass. It wasn't like muscle; it was fat. And my diet was all over the place. But then I made a conscious effort, obviously, to get leaner. And then when I was 21, I was unfortunately involved in a bad accident, and I was given 2 days to live, and that kind of took me out of the year for training, and I gained more weight. So shot up closer to the hundreds, then got back into training and dropped back down to about a healthy kind of 82 kilos. And then I made the effort to be like, I need to do this. So I got down to 72 kilos. And then as soon as hitting that landmark, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. So I couldn't train for a year. And in that year, I actually gained weight when most people lose weight during chemo. So I went from 72 to 120. And that's the heaviest I've ever been. And purely from a empathetic point of view, is I could not even walk up the stairs without getting out of breath, and then coming from someone who used to love doing bodyweight training, for example, I couldn't even do a press up, let alone a chin up. So when I got to 120, it was just a journey of okay, I need to get leaner. So I literally lost 60 kilos or more over the course of 2-3 years. So yeah, I've been in most of the guys' shoes where I've been super overweight, and what it does to your confidence, it knocks you out the window. I remember being a trainer and I was embarrassed to take a shower in the gym because I thought people would look at me and think, oh, look at him, he's supposed to be a PT, but he's fat. So I've had my own battles to deal with and overcome. Even with the team in R&T, I'll always look at everyone and think what amazing athletes they are. And I always put myself down in front of them purely because I necessarily don't have that physique that some of the coaches do. But it's an ongoing battle and you understand, okay, that's them. It's not necessarily you, and we all have our own story. So this is what I try to instill to my clients. I was look past all the stuff you see in social media or what you see out there. It's just you have your journey and don't compare yourself to everyone else. Just know you'll get to your goal. It just may take not necessarily 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, but you'll get there. So just keep chipping away at it. So the reality is, it is hard to drop that much weight. And I had to do literally the extreme and leave the country and put myself in an environment where I could just train, eat, sleep, and walk that life. But I didn't take into account coming back. So this is a new journey to add to it now. And I know I'll get there. It may not be in the next month, 6 weeks or 8 weeks, but I'll get there. So I'm just going to keep chipping away at it. And the key thing is, it's like surrounding yourself with that positive network, you know, and ultimately, like, you know, if you're not inspired by the circle of people around you, then you're pretty much caged in, you know, so put yourself around the right people. You know, I'm grateful to be around a great team of coaches, you know, and this is not me being biased here because I'm part of R&T, but we've got some of the best coaches, you know, with great stories, you know, and so anyone who does come on R&T, you know, you're lucky to have us as coaches. And this is not me just punning this because this is us. It's because we've all got our own stories and we will add to it. You know, with me, you'll get a bit more of the kind of lovey-dovey empathetic sides, you know, but we'll get you there in your results, in it. So this goes out to all the clients. Look, I'm with you on this journey, and I understand the limiting beliefs, the lack of confidence. But look, after all I've overcome, if I can do that, then anyone can achieve their goals. Just be patient and just know that this is not going to be a sprint and it's going to be a marathon. And don't beat yourself up if you stumble. You know, just get up and carry on, because the reality is that anyone can achieve their goals. And if you know, just don't give up. You know, look, this has been a 3-4 year journey for me now, and I'm still not there. You know, like, I'm pretty sure I've got some good abs. They're just covered with a warm blanket at the moment. You know, so I need to get there, and they will be. You know, but I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to take stupid chances and think about taking things that I, you know, to make the journey quicker as well. So just be patient with the process and know that you'll get there. That's my 2 cents there.
Oh, your ankles.
We're here for you on the journey. So you're going to get there. Cool. Let's wrap it up there. For those of you who enjoyed today's episode with the whole team, please share it with your family and friends. Subscribe. And for more information, please visit www.rntfitness.com or visit us on Instagram at rnt_fitness. Thanks for listening.